we're all real sure is where the 3 points are going to come from. Paul's going to take us through Korea's match against the reigning champions and a side that's probably favored to be in the thick of it again this year.
Yeah.
You have just a little old Germany.
Well, here we go. You see, without being disrespectful to Mexico and Sweden, you'd have to look into them or be a football fanatic to know much about those two teams. Whereas Germany, we all know about Germany. You know, I mean, in terms of threats, they looking at their squad, it's just ridiculous. Players who play for Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea. Nobody else. Barcelona, Manchester City.
Thank you.
There's threats all over the squad. I mean, the fact that Sane is not in the squad just shows how strong that squad is. Sorry,
Disgraceful.
Yeah. So the threats all over the park. The way that Korea are going to approach it will obviously depend on the two games that come before it. So what Korea can do is basically just. Well, I hope it's not a case of the game being a game that means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which
right.
Germany may already qualify at this point. Korea may already be out at this point. Let's hope that isn't the case. If there is a case where Korea can still go through, then they need to be able to find a way of just surprising them.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously you have Krug Gachol and Son Heung-min have both played in the Bundesliga, and Park Ju-ho. So they have those players that do know the German system, and it could work to their advantage. And I would perhaps suggest that Germany may see it as a foregone conclusion. This is 3 points. If Korea can find a way to get the ball into the creative players like Son Heung-min in the right area, it's the same old situation really. But yeah, so obviously when you play in Germany, it's got to be a back four, hasn't it? Really, stick to a back four, and I would probably go with a 4-5-1 when you're not in possession, which then becomes a 4-3-3 in transition.
A careful one.
Yeah, so you would. I mean, you could suggest it's a 4-1-4-1 because obviously Key would be sitting behind that midfield four.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I would start Kim Shin-ok as that number 9, and you'd have Son on the left, and probably Lee Jae-sung, or maybe even Hwang Hee-chan on the right. That then becomes a front three when you're in possession, because they're not going to be able to outplay Germany, but they could get them on the counter attack. So that's where I see Korea's best chances lying. In terms of a prediction, it's going to be a defeat, isn't it? Let's be fair. Sorry, I'm going to say 2-0 win to Germany, and that's being generous.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be like Brazil.
No.
You know, I don't think it's going to be quite like that. No, I think, like you say, having a single striker and having probably 9 guys behind the ball, 10 guys behind the ball at all times is going to be necessary. I don't know if I would put Hwang Hee-chan out on the wing. I don't know if I trust his feet enough for that. His speed, certainly.
Perhaps Lee Jae-sung would be a better option.
Would be a good shout out there. I think, a 4-1-4-1 could be really interesting in that one, just because you're going to need that.
You're going to need it.
You're going to need 2 shields.
Because they have that. Because they have that 3 behind with Julian Draxler, Mesut Ozil in particular. That they're going to be, again, fluidity that causes defences a lot of issues.
Yeah.
In
I think No, sorry.
I was just going to say, going back to the roster a little bit, there are 9 new players on this squad, I believe. It's almost the old guard's certainly gone. The old guard that won the last tournament is gone, and this is still such a ridiculously strong squad. When looking at how to do a youth movement, just study what Germany's done over the past 15-20 years, and just rotating over, and the players that they've got coming up in this, it's just, like you say, it boggles the mind. But one point that you brought up that I really did like is that some of the more influential players for Korea have Bundesliga experience.
Yeah.
And I think that might play in. That's pretty important coming into this game, to know that mentality, or to maybe even be familiar with some of the players and how they're going to play.
And speak the language as well.
Yeah,
which could help
Which-
on field, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Son certainly does.
Kuda Troll speaks fairly fluent German, and Son does as well. But what also with Son Heung-min, he's got even better after
Yes.
leaving Leverkusen to go to Spurs. So, all right, yeah, you could argue that the Germany are going to be familiar with him, but that was Son Heung-min from 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Not the form that he's in now,
Right.
which has been in quite electric form for Spurs the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Really. Let's be fair. So he will probably feel like he has a point to prove as well, just because he'll be playing against the people that he's played against week in, week out for how many years he was in the Bundesliga for. Koo is still there as well, you know, and he's not had the greatest of seasons for Augsburg, but then again, neither have Augsburg. So he hasn't even got a single assist this year for Augsburg. So he would have a point to prove if selected. Depends on how that midfield does pan out. But yeah, there are players in there that can hurt Germany and have probably scored against German players before, because obviously they have.
Well, like you say, hopefully there's at least something still to play for in this one.
I hope
But
so.
Depending on how things go, maybe Korea picks up 6 points before, and this is just figuring out who's top of the group.
Yeah.
Get Kim Chin-wook up front, EJ Sung in the middle, and then 8 at the back.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to set up for this one. So, yeah, well, for predictions for this one, we skipped over the predictions for Mexico.
Oh, we did, yeah.
We did, because I got excited and was talking about too many things.
Well, we'll let that one be a mystery.
Fair enough. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll hold off on that. If nobody's too upset about it, before we see a ball kicked, I don't necessarily want to predict this one. I think it is fair to say, though, that expecting anything more than being competitive against Germany, expecting that is not necessarily the wise. Anything can happen. I mean, that's why it's great.
The only hope that, as you said, the only hope that Korea can have is the fact that that game isn't a dead rubber.
Yeah, and, this is something that I did manage to fit the U.S. into a World Cup preview. Fine job. This is something that worked out for the U.S. in their group of death last time when they had Ghana, Portugal, and Germany. And that last match did mean something to the U.S., but it didn't for Germany. And we didn't get any points out of it or anything, but you could see that the competitive edge was much closer than if Germany still had their foot on the gas and they were still trying to secure that top place and get through. But they didn't, and it was only a 1-0 defeat, which, if Korea get that, that's nothing to shake your head over or be sad about or anything, but I think hopefully Germany can take care of business in their first 2 games, and that mentality will come in, because they don't. Topping the group isn't even really that important to them as much as making sure everybody's ready for the next stage. So that could play into Korea's advantage.
Actually, that's kind of an interesting point, because in the group stage, in the qualifying, they were immaculate. They won 10 games out of 10, conceded 4. Then in the friendlies, they were on that. Was it a game of 5 games without a win? They drew 3, they lost 2. So after having got the business done, there's a little bit not complacency, but there's weaknesses there, or there's fallibility there. Yeah. So maybe that would be the case then. If they do get the first 2 games won, and the last game, Korea could see that as an opportunity. But yeah,
I mean, if Korea comes into this needing a point to qualify, and Germany's already top of the group, it's not undoable.
No.
So that would be a nice situation.
It would.
Situation.